Hello and welcome to Krachtwerke, and this is just a quick follow-up video to the video I did the other day about how amp sims do retain dynamics and you can ride your tone and volume knobs on your guitar and it does react like an amp would, as long as you've got really good gain staging and everything is set up right. It works perfectly. Please look at the video. But there was a question which I find really difficult to answer without being cheeky, and the question was, is there a difference between the cab and the monitors? I think what people forget when you are working with amp sims or Kempers or anything is that whatever you're hearing is as if it's been recorded. So when you apply amp sim to your guitar in a VST or even just standalone or in a DAW, you can argue that what you're listening to is as if the cab's been mic'd up and you're listening to it through speakers, because that's essentially what you're doing. You are not going to get the same effect as if you are next to your amp and having the 12-inch speaker in your face or in the room. So there's a real difference in the sound. So you cannot compare yourself sitting next to a 4x12 cab and a Marshall running next to your ears to having the amp sim recreating that sound and you listening to it through the monitors. What you're hearing through the monitors, what I'm trying to explain is that to me it just seems so logical, but that's why I'm saying I don't want to be flippant about it and I don't want to be derogative about it, but obviously you're not listening to the cab itself, you are listening to a recording of the cab, because the VST applies it and it does what it does and it applies the impulse responses, and so you are listening through what that would have sounded like as if it was recorded. So is there a difference between the monitors and the thing? Yeah, there is, obviously. Just think of it in that sense, that you are listening to whatever you applied, whatever amp or amp sim or cab that you're listening to, whatever you're doing, you are basically listening to it through speakers as if that was all recorded. Dare I say in a good studio, because there's no, there's nothing in between. It's like a pure recording. I don't know how else to put it. If you have really big loud monitors that are really flat response and they're quite close to you and you're playing through them, you could possibly argue you're getting close to that thing, especially if you've got a bit of reverb going and stuff like that. You're kind of recreating that room sound. But other than that, just think about it this way: whatever you're applying in the cab sims that you're applying, once you listen to it, it is as if you're listening to it as if it's been recorded, because you're listening to it essentially through monitor speakers. I've got another video where I used the laptop as an amp head and then lined it out into the power amp and then into a speaker and then recorded the speaker with mics. And that's a different story altogether. There you are literally just using the amp sim and not the cab sim, and you are playing it through a 212 I did actually at that time. But that's the opposite of what the question was. So for those who are baffled by that, just always think about it. If you're using an amp sim, or even if you're using a Kemper or a Rack Effects or anything, Fractal, anything like that, essentially you are listening to it through monitors as if it was recorded. And that's why there's no difference really at the end of the day using, you know, for recording bass or even live situations when things go through a desk. There's not really a difference between the actual sound that the people themselves are, not your interaction with the amp, and not what you have a 2x12 live or 4x12 live situation and feeling that, and that giving you kind of the response that you want playing live. I'm talking about what the people hear. At the end of the day, what the people hear is an entirely different story when a recording. So there you go. I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to describe it, so thank you very much.